It's now been 3.5 years since Louise Ogborn was sexually assaulted at the McDonald's in Mount Washington, Kentucky. And last week, she was on the witness stand.
I was petrified. I didn't know what was going to happen.
What do you mean?
And I didn't know if this was my last day on earth. I didn't know if I'd make it through.
Ogborn is suing the fast food giant for $200 million for failing to protect her from the abuse. William McMurray is a trial lawyer in Kentucky.
When you take a high school student who's working at a McDonald's making $6 an hour, you couple that with a forced sexual encounter with her employers looking over, you've got a very sensational case and one that gets a lot of attention.
During the course of the 4-week trial, witnesses recall the events of that fateful evening when Louise was strip-searched, beaten, and sexually abused, all on the orders of a caller on the phone claiming to be a police officer.
What was it about him that was able to convince you?
His manner and his voice was very authoritative. The lingo that he used.
Ironically, assistant manager Donna Summers, who forced Louise to strip, is also suing McDonald's for $50 million.
I look at all these victims that this has happened to, and I look what it's done to me, and it has absolutely destroyed my life.
Several psychologists testified about the long-term effects of the sexual assault on Louise. The expert witness for McDonald's argued that Louise's recovery is well underway.
I came to the conclusion that she did have post-traumatic stress disorder, but I also came to the conclusion that it got a lot better.
But a psychologist who testified for Louise believes she's suffering in silence.
She's the type of individual who doesn't want to acknowledge to herself how much she's hurting.
Incredibly, one expert hired by McDonald's at a price tag of $58,000 suggested that Louise had, quote, grown from her experience.
I call it recovery and a resilience, and was beginning to develop kind of a transformation in herself in terms of growing as a result of the trauma too, which many people do. And we call that post-traumatic growth.
Boston University psychology professor Margaret Hagan.
Describing what happened to Louise as post-traumatic growth seems to me to be an outrageous defense ploy, a truly shocking example of mental health professionals allowing themselves to be used in litigation in ways that call their professional responsibility into question.
McDonald's defense was built on two main arguments: that Donna Summers and other employees had violated their written policy against strip searches, and that McDonald's had sent a mass voicemail warning about hoax phone calls to its managers just weeks before the incident.
This automatic voicemail, voice messaging that McDonald's has relied upon in this case that came after the fact was appropriate. Was it the most effective? Probably not. But quite frankly, that was important defense testimony for McDonald's, that they weren't completely asleep at the wheel.
Louise's managers at the Mount Washington restaurant testified that they were never made aware of that warning.
Nobody took the opportunity to let you know during any meeting about these hoax phone calls or what to do if it happened on your shift, did they?
Nope.
McDonald's maintains that Louise fell victim not because of the company's failures, but because of the failures of a handful of its employees. McDonald's says Donna Summers violated policy when she allowed Walter Nix into the office.
Anybody with common sense would know that it's when you violate this policy and you put a man back in the room with this young lady, that's a violation.
In closing arguments, McDonald's attorneys hinted that Louise was partly responsible for her post-traumatic stress because she spoke to the media.
Yes, she suffered a major depression right after this happened. She suffered PTSD, and then again when she felt the Courier-Journal, when they published that article about her. Now, McDonald's is not responsible for that.
Everyone wants to blame the victim in cases, civil cases today. And it's easy to, when you go home at night as a juror and put your head on the pillow, believe that this won't happen to you, this won't happen to your family members.
Earlier today, the jury reached a verdict.
We, the jury, find for Louise Ogborn and award her punitive damages against McDonald's Corporation in the amount of $5 million.
$5 million, one of the largest jury awards in recent history in the state of Kentucky.
Jury verdicts in this community where this case was tried, the largest verdict reported ever is $229,000. So that should give you some perspective on the verdict that's just come in this case.
In a surprising turn of events, Donna Summers, the manager who served probation on charges of imprisoning Louise, received a $1 million award from the jury. In a statement to ABC News, McDonald's says they're disappointed with the verdict and evaluating their legal options, including an appeal. Louise's attorney, Ann Oldfather.
Louise has stood up for what happened to her and what McDonald's failed to do for 3.5 years, and this jury just vindicated her completely, and we are so proud.
At the press conference immediately following the verdict, a reporter asked Louise what she plans to do with the money.
Law school.
Yeah, that's what she's been saying.